We are continuing our tutorials on bearings. At this point, I would like to give you an exercise to try. I'll give an exercise to try. Now, pause the video and illustrate the following, after which you compare your answers to what I've done in these tutorials. Remember, I always tell you to pause the video when I give you exercise. This is for a reason. You don't need to watch the video like you are watching a movie. You must watch a video in a classroom setting. And as such, pause, try your hands on these three compass bearings: southwest, north 43 degrees east, and south 54 degrees west. Let's look at what you have done and compare it with what I'm coming to do. Southwest. Southwest. To illustrate southwest, draw your compass. There is south, this west. Southwest is exactly 45 degrees 10 from the south pole towards the west. So it will be like in between the south and the west. We place our arrow on top to show the direction. So this is southwestern direction. Southwestern direction. You can put the value of the angle there if you so wish. That is 45 degrees. Southwest is 45 degrees. 45 degrees there. Okay. 45 degrees then. 45 degrees 10 from the south pole towards the west. Let's look at north 43 degrees east. North 43 degrees east. North 43 degrees east. First draw our compass. This is a turn from the north pole. Turn from the north pole towards the east. Remember, 43 degrees should be a little bit lesser than the middle. So somewhere here is okay. 43 degrees east. North pole turning 43 degrees towards the east. So this is our directional line. Place an arrow on it. We indicate the angle, the value of the angle. It's quite important. Always label your angles appropriately. 40 degrees east. 40 degrees east. Let's look at the last one, and that is south 54 degrees west. South 54 degrees west. Let me draw my compass. Now I'm going to do a turn from the south pole, turn 54 degrees towards the west. Towards the west. South pole 54 degrees towards the west. It's the direction. So I'll put my arrows on it. Then I'll indicate the value of the angle, 54 degrees. Place it at appropriate position. Good. And close this space with an arc. Close the space with an arc. So these are the diagram that represent the three given compass bearings. The next stage in our discussion, we shall look at how to convert a thread figure bearing to a compass bearing and a compass bearing to a thread figure bearing. Now let's take a question and try. Express the following three figure bearings to compass bearings. The first question is 060 degrees, 120 degrees, 250 degrees, and 340 degrees. We are converting them to compass bearings. Let's look at the first one. In order to tackle this, you need to sketch the three figure bearing given. This is a three figure bearing. We know bearings are measured from the North Pole through the clockwise direction. So this is our North Pole. The measurement will be done through the clockwise direction. Clockwise direction. So this is 060 degrees. It should lie in the first quadrant. 60 degrees here. Because from here up to here is 90 degrees. North, a turn from the north to the east is exactly 90 degrees. Then we indicate our arrows, arrow on top of the line. Write the value of the angle in the space, 60 degrees. We enclose the space with an arc, the turn of an arc, that is, turn from North Pole towards the east. Then we ask ourselves, if this position was supposed to be, if you are supposed to name this using compass bearing technique, the convention for naming compass bearing, this direction, we know the convention for naming compass bearing. It says, first and foremost, the first letter should represent one of the poles, either south or north. Then the angle follows. The angle of turn follows. The value of the angle of turn, whether 40 degrees, 20 degrees, 50 degrees, whatever it is, follows. Followed by the direction of the turn. So we can have south 40 degrees east. So that means from the south, we turn 40 degrees towards the east. So with this diagram, if we are supposed to name this using the compass bearing, there are two main letters that should precede the answer. It can either be the North Pole here or the South Pole. The North Pole, there are two main directions there. You can turn this way, turn this way. But looking at from the North Pole, if we want to go to our line, the direction shows, just turn towards the east. From the South Pole, if you want to go to this line, also turn towards the east. But in compass bearing, the turn should not always, or the angle provided, given, the angle of turn should not always be more than 90 degrees. It should always be less than. It should always be acute. It should always be an acute angle, less than 90 degrees. So a turn from the South Pole towards this direction, towards this line, will be more than 90 degrees because from this position, the South Pole, towards the east is 90, then you proceed towards this line. The angle we'll get will be an obtuse angle, more than 90 degrees. But we are referring to, what is required is angles less than 90, acute angle. So you see that it is better we take our measurement from the North Pole. The turn from this line towards this line will give us total turn of 46 degrees, which is not acute. And the turn from the north towards this direction is towards the east. So if I'm supposed to indicate the value or the bearing here in terms of compass bearing, I'll call this north 60 degrees, east. A turn of 60 degrees from the north towards the east. Turn of 60 degrees from the north towards the east. So that is the first question. Let's look at the second question. 120 degrees. As we did the first question, you must always sketch the three-figure bearing given. 120 degrees, we know that it will lie in this quadrant because angles are measured from the North Pole in the clockwise direction in terms of three-figure bearing. So this is the North Pole. This is my North Pole. So a turn of 120 degrees will be somewhere here. Remember, a turn up to this line is exactly 90 degrees. If I'm looking for 120, it should go beyond this one. Note that we are dealing with three-figure bearing. Three-figure bearing, I'm sketching a three-figure bearing. With three-figure bearing, angles are measured from the North Pole towards through the clockwise direction. So my 120 will have a relation here. I'm just adding 30 degrees to the 90 degrees. So the angle here is supposed to be 30. Now, the next thing is to indicate the direction. For now, write the value of the angle, 120 degrees. And close the space of an arc, turn from the North Pole toward this line, 120 degrees. Now we are going to express this as a compass bearing, and in compass bearing, as indicated earlier, the North Pole or the South Pole always comes first, followed by an angle, and followed by either the east or the west. So let's look at this one. If you look at this diagram carefully, you will see that if I'm supposed to turn from the north towards this line, I am making a total turn of 120 degrees. In compass bearing, angles should be in acute. It should be acute. It should be less than 90. In that case, if I want to express this in compass bearing, I will not take the measurement from the North Pole, but rather I will take the measurement from the South Pole towards this direction. Remember that a turn from the North Pole up to this position will give us a total turn of 180. If you learn that when we're doing the three-figure bearing, a turn from the North Pole through the east up to the South Pole give us a total turn of 180 degrees. Henceforth, we've also realized that the turn from the North Pole up to this position is 120. This implies the space here will be 60 degrees adding to the 120 to give us the 180. The space here will be 60 degrees. So a turn from the the south pole towards this line will have a value of 60 degrees. Note how I got a 60 degrees. I want to repeat again. I said earlier on, turning from the north towards the east, yes, then going further to the south pole will give us a total of 180. But when you turn from the north up to this line, as indicated by the diagram, we have a total turn of 120 degrees. This implies the turn from this line to the south pole is 60 degrees, because that will add up to the 120 to give us a complete turn of 180 in space. That will add up to the 120 to give us a complete turn. So if I want to express this as compass bearing, I don't need to take the reference from the north pole up to this line, but that will go beyond 90 degrees, and we need acute angles. So I will take it from the south pole towards the line, and that will give me a turn of 60 degrees, which is acute. So the value of the order to express this in compass bearing, we say it is south 60 degrees towards the east, south 60 degrees east, south 60 degrees east. Where did we get the 60 degrees from? I want to repeat. The 60 degrees, let me put it there so that you see where I got the 60 degrees. The 60 degrees is a space here. The space here is the 60 degrees. 60 degrees is a space. The 60 degrees is a space here. We can even enclose that with an arc. This space is 60 degrees. You add up to the 120 to get a complete turn of 180. Take note of these things carefully, because if you're able to build the skills here, how to look at the values of the acute angle in each quadrant when a line is drawn, you're able to know them. You will be able to analyze distance bearing problems with ease. So take critical attention to the discussion as I'm doing. Now let's go to the next question, and that one is 250 degrees. 250 degrees. This is a 3-digit bearing. 3-digit bearing. So we'll first sketch it, analyze it, and express it in compass form. Good. So first and foremost, to draw a 3-digit bearing, draw your compass. Then you know that 3-digit bearing are always taken from the north pole clockwise direction. So from the north pole here towards the east is 90, towards the south is 180. We are looking for 250. Towards this portion is 270. It means 250 degrees. We'll just be adding 70 degrees to the 180 degrees here. That will give us the 250 degrees. 250 degrees. So I indicate this with an arrow. This is the direction. Then I write the value of the angle, 250 degrees, 3-digit bearing. Don't forget. Let me put it in an appropriate place. Somewhere here. I enclose the whole space with and arc to show the portion that represents the 250. It means this chamber, this chamber, this chamber. Here is 90. Here's another 90. Plus this small space, give us the 250. Good. Now let's look at the compass bearing. In compass bearing, I won't take the measure of the angle from the north pole from this direction. No, we don't take it from the north pole, mandatory. In compass bearing, directions angles are measured either from the north pole or the south pole. So from the north pole, you can go through this direction, or can go through that direction. From the South Pole, you can go through the direction and can go through this direction. You can see from this diagram, you cannot pick the North Pole, because if you pick the North Pole, if you want to go to the line, you will turn more than 90 degrees, which is not accepted in compass level. You go through the direction, it will also be a turn which is more than 90 degrees. So the best is to take your reference from the South Pole. So South Poles towards the west. So to be south, a certain angle towards the west. South, a certain angle towards the west. South, a certain angle towards the west. So what would that angle be? We know that a total turn from here up to this line. Total turn from this position up to this line is 250 degrees. And total turn from here is 180. So what will be the surplus? The whole value here is 250. Up to this red line is 180. Then the surplus here, it is just the 250 minus what? 180. Take note of these techniques. Take note of these techniques. A total turn from the North Pole up to this line is 250. But turning from the North Pole up to this place is 180. That means something has been added to the 180 to get 250, and that is this position, this space here. So how do I get it? What was added? What value was added to the 180 to get a total turn of 250, which is this position? You just use your calculator, subtract 180 from 250, whatever you get, that is it. And when you subtract 180 from 250, that's 180 minus 250, you're going to get 70 degrees. It means the space here is 70 degrees. So let's put it there. 70 degrees. That is the turn from this line up to this line is 70 degrees. So in that instance, in terms of compass bearing, this digit, 3 digit bearing will be expressed as south 70 degrees towards the west, south 70 degrees west, south 70 degrees west, south 70 degrees west. Now let's look at the last one, 340 degrees. 340 degrees. How do we express 340 degrees in terms of compass there? We'll first have to sketch the diagram. We'll sketch the diagram, the 3 figure there. And we know that in 3 figure bearing, now we are sketching a 3 figure bearing. And now, in that case, angle will be measured from the North Pole through the clockwise direction. North Pole through the clockwise direction. So this is my North Pole. After this line is 180, 270. So my 340 should be somewhere here. I'll add about 40 degrees, sorry, about 70 degrees. I add 70 degrees to my 270 to get my 340. 70 degrees to my 270 at this position to get and 340. I'll add 70 degrees to get my 340 degrees. So let me indicate the turn from the North Pole. Okay, let me just get the arrow first. I'll indicate my arrows. Good. 10 from the North Pole up to this line is 340 degrees. 340 degrees. 340 degrees. And position it well. Remember, the 340 represents the entire space in this arc from the North Pole to the east, south, up to this line. Now, to express this as compass bearing, we are going to take a reference position either from the north or from the south. From the south, if I turn towards this direction, oh, it is more than 90. From the south, if I turn towards this direction, it is still more than 90. So the best position is to take a reference point from the north and turn towards what? The west. So in that case, turning from the north towards the west, north towards the west, the space here, what is the value of the angle of this turn from the north towards this line? We know that it's very simple. Is that not so? Okay. If you don't know, let's analyze it. A complete turn, that's from the north to up to the south, to the west, back to the north, is a complete turn, and the value is 360 degrees. But now we have 340 ending here. 340 ending here. So what do you think this space should be? A complete turn from the North Pole through east, south, west, bang, back to the North Pole, give us 360 degrees. But this turn from the north, south, so from the north to east, south, west up to this line is 340. So what does this space represent? I can see you saying it in your head. I mean, I can see your lips. I see the angle, and it's 20 degrees. How is the 20 degrees derived? We just subtracted the 340 from 360. So with this, if I want to express this as a compass bearing, there is a north. From the north, we turn 20 degrees towards the south. Sorry, towards the west. From the north, we turn 20 degrees towards the west, because the value of this angle here is exactly 20 degrees. 20 degrees. So I'll call this one 20 degrees west. No, 20 degrees west. I hope you understand how to express the digit bearing and compass bearing. I'm going to give an exercise to try. Try as much as possible not to just watch a video. Try them on your own. Compare your solution to my solution. Do not play over. If you think you understand, you will think that you understand. Let me play over. My friend, if you do that, you cannot even solve a single question in the take-home assignment I've given you concerning bearings. Take your time, go through step by step. If I ask you to do an exercise, pause the video, do the exercise. So on the next screen, I am going to give you 4 angles, 3-digit bearings. You also express them as compass bearing. I hope you know the steps. The first step is always to sketch the diagram based on the 3 figures given. If you analyze it and then you know whether you have to take a reference on the North Pole or the South Pole, how many degrees turn towards each direction, whether the east or the west. So take note of that.